Hey y'all, thanks for clicking on my video. Today we're going to do a video about the chicken ranch. It was just going to be a drone video, and let me turn down my gain a little bit. A little bit down there. Anyway, I was going to do a drone video, and I started researching, and this chicken ranch thing is crazy. There's a lot of crazy history to it, so I found like a million pictures and videos, and I got a real video of the people that were part of the whole thing and everything. So I guess let's get started. I'll start explaining. So anyway, ZZ Top had a song called Grange. It was about the brothel in Grange. And here I got the lyrics to the song. Boom, boom, boom. Let's see, rumors spreading around in that Texas town about that shack outside LaGrange. So the shack is the chicken ranch, which is another name for the brothel out in LaGrange. There's like they were like partners with the cops and everything, and everybody in the town loved the brothel. Governor, I think, went there, and leaders of the state would go there and stuff, and it was real protected. Like the girls had to be tested and background checked, and no drinking or drugs allowed, and they would help like the cops out when they would hear, like rumors and stuff. So anyway, have mercy, how, and you see the words there. It's all about the brothel, and it's right here in Texas. See where that arrow is? Google Maps doesn't take you to the right place. It's across the street, but it's pretty close. Okay, here's besides the song, they made a movie about it too, called "The Best Little Whorehouse in Texas." Dom DeLuise was in it, and Dolly Parton, Burt Reynolds. Dolly's like 100, and she's still pretty. Well, maybe 113 or something. So yeah, that's that was like in the 80s, I think. There's the movie poster for the movie. The place was started in like 1844, and then because of the Civil War, they had to shut it down. And then in 1915, a lady called Aunt Jessie reopened it up, and then it stayed in business till 1973. And it was like just a part of a staple for the area, just like a normal thing. And anyway, there's Bert and Dolly. They wouldn't do the movie unless each other was in it, and they got a lot of money, and it was like the most successful musical of the entire 80s, which, there's not a lot of musicals, but it made a whole lot of money. There's Dolly for the movie. She played the madam, which was, her name was Edna Milton, and I don't know what the name was in the movie, but all the names I'm going to use are like the real names from the ranch. In the movie, they changed the names to protect the innocent stuff. So, but anyway, it's the same people. She took over. So Aunt Jessie started the thing in 1915, and then Edna took. Oh yeah. Edna is Dolly, so Dolly's playing her right there. So Edna took over in 1961, and then kind of took over until it closed in 73. She was after it closed. She was even in the musical. She played Aunt Jessie in the musical, and so that's kind of ironic. Dom DeLuise played Marvin Zindler. Marvin Zindler is like this super famous guy in Houston. He always would review restaurants. He goes, "Slime in the ice machine," and he give them a good thumbs up or whatever award if they're good and bad and stuff like that. And so the okay, the the chicken ranch was loved by the city, and the DA wouldn't do anything against it, so they couldn't shut it down. But I think the state district attorney something wanted to shut it down. He's frustrated because the law was being broken and no one cared. So he got a hold of Marvin Zindler, which was an old friend of his, because Marvin was a cop for a super short time, and then so he talked Marvin, because Marvin didn't want to do it, but Marvin agreed to go attack the chicken ranch, and eventually he got it shut down. So there's Marvin. Actually, Marvin's probably a little bit more crazy than Don DeLuise. Marvin was nuts. I got a video at the end of this. We'll watch a video of all the people that we're talking about here. They're all in the video at the end. So, the drone videos before that, and that's like way more important. So like, watch the drone video if you want to stay around for the other, you can. But anyway, here's Burt Reynolds. He played Sheriff Jim Flournoy, something like that, and Jim was like. They said he was like John Wayne, and he was like loved by everybody. He thought the brothel cut down on crime because I'm not sure why, but he really liked the brothel, and they were like partners, like I said. When that's Sheriff Jim again. When Marvin busted him, he ripped off Marvin's toupee, threw it in the street, and he broke a couple of Marvin's ribs. And I guess, I don't know if he kicked him. How did he break his ribs? They didn't say he punched him or anything. And here he is on his horse, like John Wayne. Everybody loves Sheriff Jim. And Fayette County made a special honor for him. It's like a tombstone. So you can see Sheriff Jim, and his name's there on the right. They had bumper stickers when they shut down the brothel. He was like fighting for the brothel, and then they tried to get Sheriff Jim in trouble, but he ended up being reelected all the way to 1982 when he died. So everybody always still loved him, even though he lost the fight for the brothel. There's the chicken ranch. It doesn't look like that anymore. Here's an original. So like in 1915 when Aunt Jessie opened it up. The reason it's called Chicken Ranch. During the Depression, people didn't have any money. So the rumor is that they would take one chicken for the service, and then they ended up with a whole bunch of chickens, and the place ended up selling eggs and chickens and stuff because they had millions of chickens running around. But they say the place needed to do that anyway for the IRS and to keep the state off of them. So it might not be true. This place is like super like legendary, so that some of the stories are might not be real. So back over here, this that front room to the place, that circle plate, they sold it to a place in Dallas in 1977, and they opened up like a chicken place or a steak place out of it, and it only lasted a year. So the front half, that's where it went to. The Chicken Ranch was so popular that Southwestern Bill had it on the cover of the phone book. It was like just part of the culture out there. The maps, even maps had references to it, and Google Maps was wrong, but I can tell you that arrow is exactly right. That's where it is exactly. Here's a postcard, looks like from the early Chicken Ranch. They even have freaking toys. Hopefully that's like novelty stuff for old people, and that's really weird. Here's some of the women from, it looks like the 1915 one. Like I said, they had to be background checked. No drinking, drugs, anything like that allowed. They would be real courteous to the community. The business would, they gave $10,000 to build a hospital. They gave to all the little leagues. They gave to the hunger and all that, and they were the biggest givers in the whole county. Here's Edna when she was younger. She was 23 when she came, so that was 1961 when she took over. This was the mascot for the place. It was a stray dog, and they found her, and then I guess the dog was in there forever, and it's called Trixie. Everybody knew Trixie. And then some guy was hunting, and he killed a bear, and then there was a bear cub, and they had a pet bear cub for a long time, and then they gave it away, and it escaped, I think, and then a cop had to kill it. So not good for bear cub. This is Babe. She got away. She found a rich guy. I don't know why I put that there, but something I found. This one's kind of crazy. She got away, and then she went to Santa Fe and started another brothel, and then after that she got kicked out of Santa Fe, and then she went to San Leon. So she's a troublemaker. Texas A&M and UT both loved the place. There was different rumors on why, but it was unusual because the two schools don't like each other. But that's interesting. So that's a lot of their business. Pumpkin the cook stabbed her husband, and she went to prison for that. So don't mess with the cook. This is the real closed sign after they got closed down. So they weren't happy with Marvin. And so anyway, right now I got some drone video. Let's look at the drone video. I use this drone here. It's a Mini 2 DJI. It's awesome. And this is the entire chicken ranch. And to explain what happened here. So this is the whole layout when it was all in working and everything. So remember that front part, that's A got sold to the Dallas restaurant, so that's gone. B is just a pile of wood, and C is still there. So we'll look at all those here in a minute. That's the front part. Remember that front part right there got sold to these guys in Dallas. Okay, we're going to take off in the drone. Drone time. So you notice it says posted, no trespassing, so you can't go back there. And we noticed on the fence some kind of electronic devices and stuff, so they probably got some kind of crazy monitor and weird junk going on or something. So I'm trying to figure out where I am. The wind was like, I don't want to exaggerate, but this is at least 40 miles an hour. It was crazy. You can't really tell because the camera's just like sitting there, but the drone was fighting it. It was all over the place. And so anyway, I'm getting my bearings right there, just kind of sitting there. Oh yeah, see, there's no drone in the air, and right there in front of us. My friend had his drone up there. So anyway, I'm getting my bearings before I go out. And I just noticed it right there. So right there is the chicken ranch. It's a little ways off the road. When they took that front building out, they left it open, so that's why what's left in the main buildings is a pile of wood. All the rain got into it and everything, so they kind of screwed up when they did that. So, but you notice that last building right there is still good. I'll get better video of it here. I'm just messing around. That green paint's like the original paint from like way back when. Apparently they didn't make it real fancy. Edna like put AC in the place. That was the big deal with her. And then other than that, I don't think they really made it super fancy. They said they just added buildings as they needed them, and so that's why a lot of the buildings aren't still there. They just kind of, besides the main building, they had some other buildings off to the side. Let's see here. Let's fast forward here a little bit. Here we go. And then we'll get to the rubble over here. They need to like preserve this or something. It's kind of a big deal. It's kind of weird. There's like a stove in that building right there, and because we saw another video or whatever online, but that stuff should be in a museum somewhere. It's kind of weird that it's just sitting out there. There's boards. That's a board to the chicken ranch on the ground right there. That should be in a museum. Very weird. So anyway, we're going to come around here. I'm going to fast forward. Okay, here we go. And I just noticed a pile of rubble. So that's what's left of the main house. So remember, we're in part B right there. That's what that rubble is. So part B, and then part C is that thing that's still standing. So that's where we are right now. You can kind of tell totally. And part A got stowed away, and they left that whole part B open, so it didn't collapse and became that right there. So yeah, that's pretty much the grounds. Like I said, I would have gotten like lower. It's kind of being high is good because you know you got to maintain line of sight. But I would have got closer had the wind not been so crazy, and it was yeah, didn't want to lose my drone, so it was kind of scary. But yeah, that's the inside of that building. So all that right there would have been a parking lot. They said on the weekends the cops would come there and direct traffic and stuff, and you know, because it would super pack. That's my dog in the background. Shut up. Oh yeah. Also, during the early, Aunt Jessie was in charge. One of the cops just kept his office in the in the home, so that was kind of weird. So yeah, there's the rubble of Maine. This would be the main parking lot, and there. Let's see. You can see like that would be the back parking lot there. There's another parking lot beyond it, and then all them trees are like just where the driveways used to be. So here, you know, here's another one. I was going to do a drone shot. So it starts to go up, and I didn't know if it was going to take off. I mean, the wind got really bad, so I gave up on it right there, because the higher you get, the more the wind was a problem. So I didn't do anything there. So we'll move on. Yeah, there's this is more video of the what's left of the house. So that all around it would be the parking lot, and on the left right there would be where the front building with the round part was that took away. But they said that's the entrance right there on this side of the we're looking at the entrance side right there. So in that path to the left there is where the door would have been. That's the by that arch and B, that's what we're looking at. You can kind of get a look at what it looks like around there. Everything's kind of dead right now. It's real close to Houston, but it's kind of halfway to San Antonio a little bit. So it's almost in the hill country. So there's quite a few hills around there. You can't really tell from this, but it's almost pretty. It's there's like a Monument Hill real close by, and it has like a cliff even with. They said it's a fault line. They even had a earthquake in the 40s. But here I'm kind of sweeping around, and we'll come back over it. Let's see here. Ah, look at that. Oil rig, Texas. Yeehaw! The stars are bright. Sorry. Okay. Sorry, Daisy. Okay, so there it is. We're looking down on the back of it. So basically, going down that driveway, looking down that driveway, we're going to follow that driveway out. There's no more driveways. There's a bunch of trees. See right there, we're kind of following it out to the street. And then you can tell there's like just a bunch of ranches out there. Not much out there. They said this plot of land was 11 acres, so it's pretty much the whole side of the street, I think. And it doesn't look like it's been cared for or anything. I saw a video of the guy that purchased it in 2009. It's been 13 years since well, no, I guess the video was from this year. So, but he's had it for that long and he hasn't done anything with it yet. So, no telling. They probably aren't going to do anything with it. Let's see here. Let's turn on this Marvin Zindler on David Letterman.
Welcome back to the program. We have a fine show for you tonight. George Miller will be joining us later in the program, and my next guest is a flamboyant and highly effective consumer advocate for Channel 13 in Houston, Texas, whose most famous.
So yeah, like I said, Marvin was huge in Houston. Everybody knew Marvin was, but national TV didn't know who he was. So yeah, there he is. I met him. I worked for a company that went to the Republican convention, so I guess he was a Republican because he was at that convention. And he had those blue glasses and that white wig. And later in this interview, he says his head's really bald, and that's just a wig on there. But boy, he was like had no hair on him. He really did jump out at you when he was weird looking. He was like an alien when I saw him. I mean, but he was nice. He talked. Yeah.
Do they come in very often while you're just standing there?
We're always running in and out.
We'll watch it. So he would be a consumer guy and try to help people. And looks like this place had rats. This doesn't go very long. This is a side thing. Oh, look at that. Okay, wait. He just says Sambo's.
They will not open up until the health department gives them an okay. Well, tomorrow,
Sambo's was this place. I looked. That's a whole nother video. I looked it up, and they copied some racist book, and they put caricatures from the book all around the restaurant. But I can't find any videos or pictures of it anywhere. So there's Marvin and his. So let's get it.
And now, please welcome.
Hold on, let me. Marvin Zindler. I'm gonna skip ahead because we're not really talking about Marvin here. Let's go to 4 minutes.
Upset because he thought the hospital and the doctor had sent him these.
Okay, so everybody we talked about. Or I talked about, y'all aren't talking. Everybody had talked about earlier is going to be in this video here. It's kind of cool. And so I guess it wasn't that long ago. People were still alive. So.
Something that I didn't know. And of course, he had called and tried to get them to stop sending him these letters, which came to him about every month or so. And so finally, this was one of the stories that I did.
Yeah. Now the big story that I guess got you some national attention is the one we're going to talk about in a minute about the whorehouse in Texas. There, is that right?
Well, the whorehouse in Texas has become a kind of a household word. I never heard that word before on television until.
What do you mean? You never heard whorehouse before on television?
Well, we've always heard it as baughty house or house of prostitution, but never whorehouse.
Bawdy house? Really? Never heard that before.
Maybe you can't say whorehouse.
I've just recently been able to say it without being embarrassed.
Oh, really? It embarrasses you to say? Try it once.
Whorehouse.
Yeah. There you go. We gotta pause here for a commercial. We'll be right back with
Okay, yeah, so what they're going to do, they're going to come back and they have video they put together of everybody involved, so it's about to start here.
I guess what did you do with the chicken ranch? This is the whorehouse that we were talking about in Texas.
Well, this went back to '73 when the Attorney General's office asked me to come in and do a story on the chicken ranch because they couldn't get it closed down because the DA over there, the district attorney, said that it had been going on for 100 years and he wasn't going to close it. And of course, the Attorney General in Texas doesn't have criminal jurisdiction over these counties, so I started doing the survey.
Now, how do people feel about this? Were they for closing it down or against closing it down?
Well,
just the
it
populace.
was really funny to see 80-year-old women and 70-year-old women get mad at me because I was
crazy.
able to close down a whorehouse. I never did figure
Everybody
out why,
loved
but
it.
maybe they worked there maybe 75 years ago. I don't know.
And this, of course, is the Broadway musical came from this, and the what do you call it? The film.
The show.
The movie came from it.
If you want to call that a movie, yes.
You didn't care for the movie?
No, it's not really.
So he hates the movie, and also Edna hates the movie. So they all hated the
He
movie.
was in it.
Yes.
Oh, I see. Okay, well, let's take a look at we have some footage here of.
Okay, here's all the people.
What are we going to see here, Marvin? Just you and the
I have no
whorehouse?
idea what y'all put together.
Okay, we're all pretty well confused.
Action 13 received an anonymous complaint about
Oh, this is the
burlesque
actual
houses of
report.
prostitution. The complainant said the houses were operating openly in our neighboring towns of Sealy and LaGrange. It's illegal to operate a house of prostitution in Texas, and past history shows they cannot function without someone in authority protecting them.
His hair's not so white there.
Armstrong and I returned to the LaGrange site, this time in a marked car. Minutes later, a woman who identified herself as Edna Milton came out, said she owned the house and land. She wanted us to leave, but Armstrong remained in the car, and he continued filming as I got a lengthy interview with the woman.
There's Edna.
I asked what kind of business was she running.
I have a boarding house here.
Is that all it is?
Is enough?
You're not operating a house of prostitution?
Whether I am or not doesn't come in the heading of your business.
Sheriff says Edna Milton, who says she owns
Crowd
the
like
house,
that.
makes numerous contributions to the community. He says she donates to the Little League, gives to a private swimming pool, gave $10,000 to help build a new hospital, and even contributes to the churches.
I believe that all the money she makes
There's Sheriff Jim.
is spent right here in town.
You don't think it's linked to any organized crime anywhere else?
I know damn well there's no organized crime connected in any way whatever.
Has your office or
So
you
before
or
the
any of
state
your deputies ever
shut them down, they did not find any links to organized crime.
No payoff anywhere in the world to anybody.
That was supposed to be
The sheriff that we
Reynolds.
saw.
Burt Reynolds played his part.
And Dolly Parton played the part of the madam.
Parton played the madam. Incidentally, the madam actually played on Broadway for about a month when the musical was playing here.
She played the part of herself.
I
in the
said that
movie?
earlier.
She played the elderly madam in the wheelchair that died and left it to
Oh, I see. Yeah.
her.
But other than that, pretty much dead ringers there for Bert and Dolly. aren't they? and in the movie, you were played by whom?
Dom DeLuise.
Now, what was your reaction to the film? You said already you didn't care for it, but other than
Well,
that,
of course, I would have liked to seen Johnny Carson play me. They tried to get him to play me.
oh, they did. They asked Johnny to play you.
And I thought he'd be a good one, and if he wouldn't have played it, I'd have liked to seen Ted Knight play me because I think Ted Knight would have been a good
Well,
one.
now,
I'd like to
Ted
see
Knight would have
Willie
been
Nelson
better
play
than
the
Dom
sheriff,
DeLuise.
But unfortunately,
I think it's a stupid movie. I never saw the movie. I'm not a big musical guy. I'm a musician,
you
but
thought
you
about
know,
suing him, though, didn't you?
it's a musical.
you know, I haven't lost anything out of it, so there's no way anybody can sue, but collecting or getting a judgment is something else, and there'd been no way I could have ever won that case.
So there's no more prostitution in and around Houston, I'm guessing now, huh?
Yes, we have plenty of prostitution in Houston, but that's not the problem. The problem is it's not open, it's not protected, and if these gals want to get out and make it on their own, and if they get caught, they got to pay the price, that's fine. But for law enforcement, for public officials to allow it to operate because they have a badge to do it, I don't think it's right, and that's the reason I did it.
Didn't the sheriff punch you? The old guy we
He
saw there?
broke some of my ribs.
Yeah.
Broke some of my
which they
ribs.
Eventually paid for.
Now, I noticed in the videotape we looked at earlier, you looked differently then. Of course, it was 1973.
Well, I've only had 6 guys. I heard you say you're going to have this young lady on.
So yeah, that's pretty much. I can stop that there.
Lady come up.
That's pretty much it for boom. Okay, that's it for Marvin and everything. That's my big. This video was probably super long. Sorry. Hopefully you enjoyed it, and have a great day, and thank you very much. Bye.